is Emme Zanotti. She is from Ally Financial and Stand with Trans.
I might put the jacket back on, actually, but we'll see. First, thank you. Thank you all for coming out here today. You should all give yourselves a hand right now. Because how we come together as a community when the times are the hardest is almost more important than how we come together as a community than when times are good. And it's important to remember what Jey'nce said, that for a lot of folks in our community, there's not a lot of good times. And I'm a trans woman who's had a lot of privilege, comparatively. And most of the time, times are good for me. And when that memo came out last week, times weren't good for me anymore. But the point I want to make is that, what did I do when the times were good, and was it enough? Did I do enough then? And how are we going to change that narrative going forward, right? And so we called this rally the Rally of Solidarity. And I want to talk about that word, right? I want to talk about solidarity and why it's important. I think we know why it's important, and it sounds cliche. It's because we are stronger together than we are apart, right? And so I was driving home last night, and one of my favorite songs came on. The song is called We Shall Not Be Moved. Has anyone heard that song? We Shall Not Be Moved. So it's a song I love, and I think about it. We shall not be moved. What does that song mean? You know, a lot of musical historians, they talk about its origins. Where does it come from? You know, if you listen to the melody, I think it's pretty damn clear where it came from. It came from the South. It came from the cotton fields down there, and it didn't come from folks that looked like me. And it's a beautiful song. It's been covered by white folk singers and workers' rights rallies, and a black gospel singer named Mavis Staples. And, you know, there's this line in the song, and it says, "We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved." And I love that comparison. I mean, everyone take a second and picture that. Just try to picture it. A big, old tree, rugged bark, a few broken branches but still standing, full of leaves of many different colors. But the tide is rising, right? The current is ferocious. Picture that water crashing around the bend, ripping the plants that stand alone out of the ground, grabbing everything in sight and pulling it under and suffocating everything. But that big tree, right? That big strong tree that's right there, planted on the water, with its leaves of many colors, the rising tide doesn't waver that tree, okay? The swiftest current is no match for that tree, and here's why. Because that tree has roots, right? Not one root. Never find a tree with one root. That would be bye-bye, right? Gone with the current. That tree's made up of a lot of roots, and that's all of us, right? Raise your hand if you're a root. Come on. Like, raise your hand. So, it's a whole bunch of roots. And those roots are a family, and we are a family. And we have to work together right now. We have to work together. We have to step up. We are on a road to freedom, and we shall not be moved. We have black roots and white roots. We have religious roots, and we have atheist roots. And we have non-binary roots. We have binary roots, English roots, and Mexican roots. But we can all do better. Forget about it. I can personally do better. This is only the second time I've been at this building in the 5 months I've lived in Detroit, and that is unacceptable. And I will bring it upon myself to come here more. And I want Jey'nce, and I want TJ, I want everyone in this parking lot to hold me accountable to that. To hold me accountable to that. And I want us all to hold each other accountable to that. There's no difference. The color of our skin, none of that matters. Our ethnicity, we have to come together. Because when the administration and a certain political party pulls stunts like they did last week, they have two goals there, folks, two goals. The first one is to suppress us. They don't want us to feel anxious or like, you know, enough energy to get out of bed. So when we feel like that, we have to call each other. We got to pick each other up. Because if we stay in bed, if we don't go wait in lines at the polls and deal with the BS and the harassment and the discrimination, then our vote's not going to count. Our vote will not count. So don't be suppressed. The second thing they're trying to do is they are trying to divide us. They want to create as many boundaries between us as possible, because if they can divide us, we're all a bunch of individual Ruths. And then we'll be swept under the tide, and that's all I have to say about that. So what you can do is you can vote, you can march, you can rally, but most importantly, we have to stick together. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Jey'nce.